guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be migrating from my second bullet journal over to my third bullet journal. Now you may have seen my 2019 setup. If you haven't, I'll go ahead and link that in the description box down below. But today I'm actually going to be moving all of my relevant information that I need to carry from my second bullet journal over to my third bullet journal. I'm also going to make sure that any open tasks or outstanding tasks or lists are moved over to this bullet journal. That way I don't lose anything in the migration. Since this also gives me an opportunity to flip through every page in my second bullet journal, this will also be my 2018 bullet journal flip through. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is moving this fitness class calendar over to my new bullet journal since I'm going to be having that. This was my word of the year for 2018. That was still. I'm going to be putting a new word of the year at the beginning of my bullet journal, so that will be moving over with me. Here I have my table of contents, so I don't have to move that over clearly, but I do have to finish up this table of content because I will be putting this on my shelf and this will become a reference for these months in 2018. So I do want to make sure that I finish filling out my index. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. So what I'm doing is just going through to see if there's any specific lists or things that I want to transfer onto the index. If not, I just want to write the last page that I did for 2018 to 27. All right. So I think I have a full-on index. This gives me some information that I probably use about a page of index, which is good because I only have 3 pages in my scribbles that matter. The spacing is much wider, so I have actually less individual entries. Okay, so I'm going through. So the first page was my future log, and I see that I didn't change the air filter in July. I didn't move a calendar I was supposed to. In October, I don't think that I cleaned that. I did hire cleaners for our monthly deep clean, and then my husband did not change his retirement distribution for how he is investing for his TSP, which is his retirement account. So I'm going to go ahead and add that to my current month's list of things to do. So I'm opening up for this month, and I have here that he has to do that. I'm just going to mark that that has been migrated. All right. These are some gift ideas that I had for my husband and for my son. So for my husband, I still have, or for my son rather, I'd like to get him an iPod and a new alarm clock. So I do have a gift list in my new bullet journal, so I'm going to go ahead and get that. So here I have gift ideas. So I do have that I want to get him an iPod, but I no longer want to get him an alarm clock because he is using his iPad as an alarm clock. So I no longer want to do this, and the iPod was migrated. I was thinking about sending over some Hawaiian vodka to my family, but it's very difficult to ship alcohol from the island to the mainland, so I went ahead and erased that from my gift ideas list. And then I also moved this water bottle that I want to get my husband over to the gift ideas. I don't want to get him that anymore. I've migrated that one. I did get him these 2 gifts for Christmas. I don't have anything lingering for December. Here I have my books to read, and I do have a new spread for that in my new bullet journal. So I have gone ahead and I've transferred all of these outstanding books that I have yet to read, and I moved them here to the bookshelf for things that I might be interested in reading over the next year or so. Here I have restaurants that I'd like to try, and I moved that to a spread. I have things to try while in Hawaii. I have a specific restaurant section now in that page. So here I have written down a specific restaurant that I wanted to try, and I want to move that I'd like to try this restaurant called Butcher and Bird over to that list. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. And I might try to schedule that for this week because it is our last week of vacation. We took 2 weeks off of work. Next, I have movies that I'm interested in seeing. I did see Incredibles 2. I have yet to see Rocketman, the Elton John movie, but I have put it here on my movie list already, so that will be marked as migrated. And then I also moved over that I'd like to watch season 2 of The Crown at Netflix, or on Netflix, and I'd also like to watch The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel on Amazon. I have not watched the second season yet, so I'm gonna write that down as well. My husband and I are currently on season 4 of The Wire, so we will shortly be done with that series, so we'll have to look for another series. Here are some important notes for me, and it did remind me that I did complete the index using my Pitt Artist pen size small, which is why the Pilot V pen was a little bit off and I didn't remember the exact pen that I used for this index. That's the reason why I have these kind of pages, kind of note to self things. I'm not going to move that over just because I don't think it's relevant to the following year. So here I have notes to self and my policies. So I've moved over those notes and I've also moved over my policies. I have some coupon codes here that I haven't moved over, so I'm going to go ahead and do that now. I've moved those over, and here I have my wish list. Let's see what I still want. I do need to purchase some updated skincare, so I'm going to put that. Rather than put it on my wish list, I'm going to move it to my monthly task list because that's something that I do want to tackle this month. So kind of moving it more from a wish to an action item. So I'm going to go ahead and list that in my monthly to-do. So I've migrated that over, I've migrated that over. Next, I have some video ideas. So these are some things that I am going to be working on. I already did some of these and posted them. Okay. I'm going over to my new video ideas page where I have my video ideas and I'm going to be documenting those. And I think I have already moved this one and this one and this one. Okay, so they have all been moved over. Here I had a list for things that I needed at Target. This actually didn't work out for me because I would forget to refer back to this page. Usually I have a shopping list every week, and now I just have a section of my shopping list that says Target. So this one was not, so that one was not migrated over to my third bullet journal. So here I'm just going to go through the months and see if there's anything that needs to be moved over. Clearly nothing from April. I'm looking for open boxes. here are some examples of things that I'm migrating from my weekly list. So this was a shopping list that I made. This week was my birthday week and I was going to be in Seattle. So I had some things that I wanted to pick up there, and some of these boxes are open because I didn't purchase them while I was there in Seattle. So I want to go ahead and move those over to some sort of shopping list so that they don't fall through the cracks. I think I'm going to move these to my wish list because I don't have a specific day or a plan for purchasing these things, but I don't want to forget that I thought I needed things like more white bras. I do need to replace my black strappy heels, so I want to write some of these things down. So I'm going to move those over to my wish list. This is also a good time to reevaluate whether or not I want some of these things. So I've purchased a good amount of casual dress shirts. I do want to get more white sports bras. I do need new black strappy heels. Do I really need another white button-down shirt? Probably not. And I would like some short sleeve button-downs, and I would like some new camis, so I'm moving all of those over. So now I'm just going to continue flipping through and identifying any outstanding tasks like I've been doing. This is a listing I had of all of the sticker kits that I currently own, and I did move that over to my new bullet journal. So I kind of kept almost the exact same format, which was just all the kits. So I'm going to go ahead and migrate all of these over there. Now, it does seem a little tedious to go ahead and do a forward arrow on all of these boxes, but because my checking system is really about making sure that there are no open boxes, it is really important to me to actually write down that I've done something with this list rather than just leave it with open boxes. So even though it's tedious, I'm going to go through and just do a forward migration arrow on all of these boxes, which for me is just a little greater than sign like that. So here is one of those tasks that just, it seems like it's lingered on my to-do list for about 2 years now at this point. I'm really trying to clear out all of my photos in iPhoto on my desktop. I want to turn all of them into photo books since my son was born, so for the past 9 years. But I haven't been able to progress very far. So I want to move this onto my February task list. And I also want to go ahead and start a project page, kind of how I did here. I'm going to go ahead and open up to the next available page in my bullet journal, and I'm going to set up a photo books page. let's keep going. So as I'm going through, I do see some random notes. Like right here, I put look into something again. And I do want to remind myself that this is something I'm interested in doing at some point this year, but I don't have any specific timeline for it. So this has prompted me to write a someday maybe list for my new bullet journal so that I can capture some of these things that I want to do, but I don't necessarily have a specific timeline to achieve those things or to do this research, for example, into this specific thing. So I'm going to go ahead and do a someday maybe list, which is one of the concepts in David Allen's Getting Things Done. It's a book that has helped me kind of organize my professional life, and one of the things that the author suggests is having a list called Someday Maybe, and it's things that are not necessarily actionable now, but you want to remember, and you should be reviewing these on a semi-regular basis. So this is a great time to do that as you're flipping through an old bullet journal. And this also has prompted me to add a new collection into my new bullet journal. So I'm going to go ahead and do that as well. This is also a good time to go through and identify anything that you wrote into your bullet journal that you think you might want to access later on. So for example, I have written a few books that my son was interested in reading. I remember writing this down quickly when we were in the bookstore, so I'm going to not migrate that over to my next bullet journal because I don't know if I need to have that on hand to access at any point when I'm not at home, but I might want to refer to that list in the future, so I went ahead and I wrote that down in my index. This page is something I used to brainstorm all of the things that I would like to include in my dream routine. Either my daily, my weekly, or my monthly routine. So I do want to refer back to this page, but I don't think that I want to fully migrate it because I'm almost done setting up our routines. So I'm gonna go ahead and just put a little tab on this. I have made a note of this page in my index so I can find it easily, and I'm going to just be utilizing this for the next few days at home, but I don't necessarily want to migrate it. I don't want to close it out either because I want to make sure that I have included each of these things in my routine, so I'll be checking them off as I start finalizing that for the year. Finally, we are in the month of December, and since I'm recording this in mid-January and we just got back from our vacation, there's probably going to be a lot of open items, so I'm going to try to go through this as quickly as possible. I'm also going to be moving some of these individual tasks over to my current task list because these are things that are likely kind of still on my general to-do list. The last thing I have here is my list of morning routine items that I'd like to add to my morning routine. So that's related to this dream routine here. So I'm just going to add a thread here, just saying that this continues on page 230. So I have this and I have this, which are the only remaining open items in the bullet journal, and that's because I'm going to be using them to ensure that I have included everything I want to include in my routines in my routine schedule that I am writing in my new bullet journal. So that is about it. As you can see here, I only had a few pages left, so I thought that it was a good time to start a new bullet journal. Since it was the last few days of December, I thought I would just sacrifice these last few pages. I just have those extra few pages in the back in the event that I need them. So that is about it, guys. As I said, if you're interested in looking at my 2019 setup, I'm going to leave the full setup down below, and I'm also going to be doing a full plan with me for the month of February, where I'll be able to talk a little bit about how this year's setup is working out for me. That's about it for today, guys. Until next time, I hope this video brought you some utility and joy.